Hello, my name is Brother Sean, or Father Ted to his friends, and the theme of this short video is we are all called to joy. Yes, not just monks and nuns, be they Buddhist, Christian, or of other faiths. You and I are called to live a life of joy, a life that is empowering us to reach out and to touch Mother Earth with joy. Myself, yes, you can see I'm wearing fancy dress because I am a Franciscan, a lay monastic monk who has embraced a life of simplicity, a life of joy in divine service. I'm a member of the Teo community of interspiritual Franciscans, called to embrace all faiths, not necessarily Christian, although I am a Catholic Christian and was ordained a Catholic nursing monk back in '68. But throughout my life, I've always embraced all faiths. There's been an inner knowing from a very young age that the Father, Mother, God has many children, and they're not all Catholic Christians. They're Hindu, Sikh, Baha'i, and Buddhist, followers of Sri Chimoy. So call to joy is a very powerful statement. In fact, it's a challenge, even a nightmare for those who are not experiencing joy. But as a Franciscan who lives that simple life, following in the footsteps of the barefoot Galilean, the risen Cosmic Christ, one of my great teachers is Francis of Assisi, because not only was he called to joy, but he was joy. He lived joy. And he left us a legacy of love. And today, you and I are called to joy. We're called to distance ourselves from the mindset of fear that's portrayed through the media. Have you ever watched them reading the weather forecasts? When there's bad weather pending, they're almost salivating at the lips. And the same with the news. The world is in a state of flux because of man's inhumanity to man. Man lacks joy. So how do you access this joy? Can you buy it at Walmart, Marks and Spencer's? Maybe you can. I doubt it. This joy that I am living as a lay monastic is the same joy that you too could have, but you must surrender your heart to the Supreme to experience that joy. It's an inner knowing. It's an inner knowing that you are loved. And in that inner knowing that you are loved, there is a sense of completeness, that you don't have to compete with the masses. You don't have to wear a Calvin Klein little number. You don't have to have the state-of-the-art transport. You don't have to have the latest hairdo from Fidel Sassoon. One who is living in joy is one who's at peace within oneself. And that peace today is a rare commodity because it is true, isn't it, that many of us are bombarded by such strong forces, not all positive or joyful forces, but they're forces nonetheless that seek to rape our divinity as a child of God. But you too can have this word joy if you are willing to trust what I share with you. I'm not giving you a list of do's and don'ts, like I was as a young Catholic monk, that left me so wounded that it took 12 years of therapy to overcome that negative mindset that I was a sinner, I was evil. Call to joy is a way of life, because in your own interior castle, in your mind, in your body and spirit, there is harmony. There is a divine connection. And in that stillness, when you relax, in prayer, in meditation, you experience something that is not of this world. You experience a tangible expression of love from the Supreme Father, Mother God, who loves us, who does not condemn us. Society may condemn us because we choose to look different, to be a skinhead, a hellraiser, a hell's angel. Our dress code alienates us if it doesn't conform. That is not the case as a child of God. You can come as one like me in fancy dress, or you can come as you are. I've chosen this dress because for the best part of 40 years, I denied my truth through fear of what my family would say, what others would say. And then I always felt that I never felt good enough. Now I do. Because when I embrace myself, my I am presence, I am embracing a loving God who resides within my being. And yes, in my humanity, I fall down many times each day. I may get irritable. I may have moments of disquiet, but ultimately, what carries me through the pitfalls of being human and getting back up again is that I know I'm called to joy. And joy for me is living in the presence of a loving Father, Mother God. And as a Franciscan who embraces all faiths, as a brother of the Teo community of St. Francis, I embrace that joy in creation. I embrace the tangible love that God gives to me each every waking moment. When I walk in our sacred garden, when I look at the arrangement of flowers and the colors of the plants, when I see the father, mother, thrush and blackbird going into their nest to feed their little young over the monastery door, and I hear them late at night chunnering away, that is joy. And with that joy comes a stillness, an awareness that we are all loved and that we are part of a whole. And the whole family of God is called to that joy. But sadly, not many today have that joy because of the pressures they're put under, like in Africa where so many are dying of hunger, through no fault of their own because of the climate change. In Syria where there's so much discord, where you have brother Sunni Muslims killing Shiite Muslims, where you have within families bitterness, discord. We have a duty of care, first to ourselves, to bring back that essence of joy, that we are a child of God, that we are loved, that we are accepted for who we are. And all we have to do is open our arms and receive that joy. But first we have to ask for it, use the gift of free will to access it, and then quietly wait for the moment when joy is poured into our heart, into our mind, into our body, to allow us speak our truth and live in joy as ambassadors of peace. Thank you for watching. Namaste.